Well, hey, good afternoon. Don't move, because he's supposed to film this thing. He said, stand right here. Okay, I'll stand right here. My name's Michael Veal. I have a company called CAD Trainer Guy. I live in Kentucky, should you ask and wonder, and you're all invited to come down to see us. There's room in I got three in the front. I got one between my lovely and talented associates in the front row over there, too. Live out there, have been doing CAD training since 1982, and I've been loving CET only now for the last couple of years. Herman Miller first came to me and said, we want you to be part of our virtual rollout. That was a couple of years ago. Then Andy Benner from Hans said, Michael, come on over here to Muscatine and do that. So I did work with Andy and his team over there in Muscatine as the Han people, Han Maxine rolled out. Then David Cruikshanks at All Steel said, Michael, we would like you to do a video on how to do further benching. So that's up on the All Steel University, as I understand it, if you want to look that one up as well. Then Steve Rockwell from Knoll came up to me last year and said, well, clearly we need to have you on our horse too. So I did the summer traveling about the country, going to the various Knoll showrooms. And so you might have seen that on LinkedIn. I posted that. There were like 4,300 views on that thing. I did the whole summer. We did 11 cities, 12 sessions, 150 some odd Knoll users we got going on that platform. So it's been a wonderful CET ride for me. And across the whole interim, across the whole time, I thought, all right, this is not your mama's software, right? This is big old Mac Daddy software. So what we are going to do today is simply to flip to the next slide. He's now realizing if I hit escape. Can I do escape on that one? Come on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Stop tape. Cut that. How about there? There we go. And then we're in the workbook. Okay. First of all, don't move. On the highlight, I gotta stay there. On the highlighters, there is this is for the iPhone thing, right? The little knobby thing. Then there's a pink highlighter. I need to know if yours does not work. Please, at the end of the session, let me know. And I have more of them. Then when you roll the barrel, there's a pen that works for 3 weeks. And so there's that one. So you do have that there. So I want to let you know that you will have those. I had one gal said, oh, do we please get the pink highlighter? Yes, you get the pink highlighter. The other thing here, the friendly relationship between Autocad and CET Designer. And I've been teaching Autocad since early 90s, 89, 90, CAP since 1985, and so this is relatively new software for me, of course. But I thought, gosh, as I'm taking my kids from the warm and fuzzy area of Autocad, we have muscle memory that we used in Autocad, and how are we now going to translate that into using it in CET? So I've got a couple of new things that I had this year from last year. There is still the coveted tool palette. You will have access to the tool palette. Kelsey DeBruin will be posting that it's either going to be a briefcase or something she will let all attendees know. And mine will be out there as well. Along with this workbook, those of you who have had my training know that I'm a workbook kind of guy. I always want to put something in your hands for you to take with. Unfortunately, in the context of our conference here, that is not possible to have that, I guess, beforehand, but I'm going through exactly what you will have access to. I sent that over to Kelsey yesterday. Okay, so what I'm doing here, you will have. All right, what we're going to do, what we're going to do here, how to clean up drawings before importing them into CET Designer. We get big old drawings, right? We get big old drawings. It is recommended on the part of Configura is saying, if you can get them down to skinny jeans, down to like a meg, that would be wonderful. And yet those of you who saw Sarah and Stephanie's presentation on dealing with big drawings, their smallest drawing was like, 20 meg or some crazy size. I know, we can only do what we can do, right, folks? So I do have a tool palette that I'm going to run through and show you how that. There is an XREF equivalent in CET Designer, and I want to show you how that does work. That is unknown to some folks, that is, it's very XREF-esque in what it does. What about CET furniture in AutoCAD? So when you do export it out of AutoCAD, we will be doing that. We'll be taking and drawing with CET furniture into AutoCAD. We'll talk about that whole true color thing. I've got a button for that. I've got a bigger hammer for that. What about bringing your 2020 CAP furniture back into CET Designer? How do we do that? Okay, what kind of tools do we have available for that? How to create 3D walls in AutoCAD and bring it into CET. Look, I know we can draw 3D walls in CET. It's got great wall tool fun things. But what about those architectural wonders where you get the drawings and you go, gosh, how am I going to build that thing in CET? I've got a way of doing that. So we're going to take a look at how to take those squirrely walls, you know, God's gift to the built environment that the architects won an AIA award for, whatever, and take it over into CET. Okay, so we're going to do something like that. And most of the things that are covered in this presentation are on that tool palette I will be showing to you in a moment. Okay, now here's the thing. Clearly we have we have a large investment in our current specification software, right? So we have AutoCAD, we have possibly Project Symbols, we have Project Matrix product, we have 2020 product potentially, we have other things. So is there a place in our organization where we can kind of reduce the financial footprint just a smidgy bit? AutoCAD and AutoCAD LT. Okay, AutoCAD full version allows for, obviously, third-party applications like Project Matrix and 2020 products. Okay, also full AutoCAD does 3D solids. Those are the only two things that AutoCAD LT does not allow for. You cannot have third-party application plugged into the side of AutoCAD LT. You cannot do 3D solids in AutoCAD LT. AutoCAD LT, actually, a lot of us want to give the name light to it. It does not stand for light. Back when it was introduced in the early 90s, it stood for laptop. Because back in the early days, the laptops had whopping 1 megabyte hard drives, right? 10 megabyte hard drives, maybe. And maybe you got a meg of RAM, right? So it was really, they were very small. The footprint on the power of laptops wasn't there. So Autodesk reasoned, they said, hey, let's get our product into the hands of those folks that have these cool laptops. Don't add more stuff to it because it doesn't have very large hard drives. Don't add 3D solids to it because you only have this 1 meg of RAM. Give them everything else. So my thought is, all right, if in fact our AutoCAD subscription runs in the $1,500, $1,600 for a subscription for a seat, AutoCAD LT is $225 a year for a seat. So for your champions at your offices, those that simply are going to go full on CET, cool, yes, absolutely, they can probably get along with an AutoCAD LT seat. Okay, so you could do an AutoCAD LT seat. Project Matrix, chat with Rob Dietrich out there. They also have a product called Project Workspace, which is Project Matrix wrapped up with an AutoCAD version. So there's information you can get from Rob about that. If you want to reduce your footprint on AutoCAD, and that ain't insignificant. I just saved you $1,200 a year. You're welcome. Next, our base plans can be big ol'. Okay, and like I was saying, CET, or Configura is saying, hey, get it down to about a meg. Right, I don't think it's going to happen. So there's lots of little things you can do to take this drawing and squeeze her down. And so when I first did that, I got to log in. Log into CET. Gosh, take that. All right, cool. They let me in. Good answer. All right. So when Kelsey first approached me last year, Kelsey DeRuin said, Michael, could you speak on the relationship between the two products? I thought, all right. Many of you, all of you, if not all of you, would know there are things that, okay, purge, delete, duplicate. So I started adding up all the things that we can do, right, in AutoCAD. And many of you know and I thought, well, gosh, I'm not going to tell them where to pick the thing. So I made y'all a tool palette, okay? So that's what you have here, this tool palette here. This is what will be available for you, and I'm going to show you how this critter works, okay? Now, what's going to happen is you're going to want to try to rinse and repeat and do what I do here. So to practice this back at the office, there is a drawing guys, called Floor Plan Sample DWG, and there's the path. It's under C, Program Files, Autodesk, your version, Sample, Breathe, Database Connectivity, and then you have that drawing. So this is something that you can open up and do the exact same thing I'm doing here. I'm not a PowerPoint guy. I don't do I do real stuff because I don't want to show you something and go, I bet you can't do this. So I want to make sure you can do it, okay? All right, so before you begin, okay, before we begin a drawing, a lot of us will open up Joe Bob's drawing, Joe Bob Architect's drawing, and want to do a save as. We're not going to, work on the original. So I added the first button in the tool palette is your save as. Now don't have to do it here, but the save as button is built right into this tool palette. All right, so we save it as. Next, okay, so you get these drawings from Joe Bob, right? And you click in the layer drop-down list, and you got dark light bulb, snowflake, snowflake, dark light bulb, snowflake, and you go, what's in here? So if I'm going to clean it up, I need to see everything, right? So I have a button. Layers, everybody on the bus. You click that button, it thaws, turns on, unlocks, and zoom extends every layer in the drawing. It's like, come here, come here, come here. And it opens up the drawing, goes, here you go. Because if you're going to clean it up, you need to see what you're cleaning up, folks. So I thought, that is just get on the bus, let's go. So that button is on there, okay? Next. I was doing a training for Mark's Moda up in Detroit at their new space, and one of the gals said, but here's what we know. You will download blocks from Andrew World, pick something, right? So we will get these DWG files from online, and we'll bring it into AutoCAD, and then Friday at 4, we'll go to plot monochrome, and it won't. Let's say blow it up a shirt, going to do color, right? And for the life of you, you cannot get that thing to do monochrome. So there's a feature in AutoCAD called Set to By Layer. Now what I'm going to do as I go through here, I'm going to show you where the real live feature is in AutoCAD and then what the button does to automate that feature. Okay, so here's what I do usually in my training. Now, many of you I've just trained recently. So I'm going to select this area here in the drawing. I'm going to right click and go down to Properties. Okay, so in Properties, the current color is set to by layer, which we always want to do, right? Every one of us in here. If we want a different color in our drawing, by golly, we're going to make a layer with that color and draw on that layer with a color set to by layer. But the architects, bless their heart, you always go bless your heart when you're talking about architects, they will go in here and they go, well, we don't need training, so we're just going to do this. And so they will draw it in a color, right? And when you hover on the part, there's a possibility that your little tooltip will pop up, and more often than not, you're going to want it to say right here, color by layer. But when you see this something other than by layer, little clangers ought to go off in your head going, what else did they gom up? So what we have is a feature up on the expanded Mortify panel called Set to By, is that the one? Yes, no, first one, Set to By Layer. I'm not going to pick that button. I'm going to pick my button on here, push button, change to by layer. So when I click that button, it goes, okay, all y'all out there, come here with your colors, be by layer. So back to the designer at Mark's Moda, she opened up a drawing that she had done and had downloaded some random part, right? And she tried this. She was giddy because then she plotted monochrome. The critter plotted monochrome. She was off and gone. Okay, so there's these little things that maybe we don't think of or we don't have time to look at, and we got these big old Mac Daddy drawings. That's what the button is intended to do. Next, we all know about the, let's see, that was the thing. Yeah, those were the procedures. Would you have used the button by itself? But that's why I made the button. Just you click it and you go, baby, go. Many of us, all of us, pretty much know Purge, right? So you have the Purge dialog box. Down at the bottom, you have all those check boxes. You want to make it look like that, bottom line. And so then you go through your Purge, and you have to do Purge all maybe a couple of times. The thing was, there's also a command line version of Purge. And so I added push button Purge to here, and when you click it, it's over. Wait, what? So this is what it did. It went out there and it purged all the stuff. So there's your command line version of the purge command. It is mentioned to be a little bit more powerful than just the normal Joe Bob command line, or sorry, the dialog box. So there's the purge dialog. There's the purge button on there. Okay. All right. So yeah. Oh, and the other thing on here, selective purge. So if you go into the dialog box, well, I just purged it, dude. So can you undo? Well, let's check this out. Undo. Where's the undo? There it is. Come here, dude. And if I go, oh, too far. Push button, change by layer. I love my buttons. So you go into purge. There is a redeemer. And in here, if you had multiples, right? The note I have here, sometimes all you want to do is purge out blocks, maybe the other stuff you want to leave in there, like layers you added or something like that. This is a little, not tricky, but you just need to know when to push the clutch in and when to change the gear. If you only want to purge a certain object type, such as layers or line types, select the topic first. That's the key point. So you click on line type or on layers or on the one that is just the unique one that you want to do. Then notice you will have a right click. Purge all means everything in the drawing. Purge means just the one you have selected. So if you have that selective purge need to have in there, then that's your trick. Okay, that's your trick to do that. Now the big button will take everybody and their dog. Okay, but that's if you want to just kind of sneak in there. And if you've ever wondered what the purge zero length geometry and empty text objects, all right, so you have a line. You click on a line, you have your grips and your grip in the middle. If you take the one grip on one end and you drag it over and put it in the other one, what do you got? You got a dot, right? So you have zero length geometry. Yeah, okay. If you, let's say, next topic, if you double click text, up comes the text window and it says Amanda, okay, and you hit the space bar. So now you have what? An empty text object. That's what that purge button is. That's what those checkboxes are referring to. No fat clue what automatically purge orphan data is. I don't know. So no dialog box on that one. Just push the button. Next. Okay. So, sure, purge all. Go. So you open a drawing. You've all done this, right? You open a drawing. You move a chair, and the chair's still there. No, hon. You had two of them, dude. So you had chair on chair. I was doing a training at Colorado Springs Compassion International. They had 3 drawings on top of each other, bless their hearts. And so they were wondering why this drawing was so big. And I thought, oh, dear, have you ever seen delete duplicate objects? And they go, no. So I showed them that, and they were giddy. So all of a sudden, their 12 megabyte file went down to like 2 and change, right? 3 or something. So it was a huge thing. And so I put that on a button, okay? So you have push button, delete duplicate objects. Now that button by itself is under the modify panel and there's a broom, okay? So here's your delete duplicate objects, but that command, if you do it that way, requires that you select the objects. Not that you can't, but I thought, if I can save you moments out of your day, then I've done my job. You can go home. Most of you have a life. So instead of delete duplicate objects there, I'm going to hit push button delete duplicate objects. I'm not even going to have to zoom in because in this button is included a select all feature. So all the drawings, all the objects have been selected when you get to here. The defaults are what you want to have. Nothing is checked up here at the top. None of the boxes up here at the top. Optimize things. You got a couple of check boxes that are indented that you don't want to check. It'll combine collinear objects that partially overlap because the architects, bless their hearts, they will draw something and then they'll draw something else underneath it, or they'll make a whole line and they'll put 3 lines on top of it. We'll just pick on them, and then we'll put a little whatever. So that will combine that kind of stuff. Say nope, you can't have that. Combine collinear objects that are aligned end to end. So toothpick, right? That they've drawn lines and stuff. Maintain associative objects. No idea. Then click OK. And then when you hit F2, okay, let's see, let's move this up a smidgy bit. 34 duplicates were deleted. 2,382 overlap. Do this. You don't even have to take the silly thing to CET, dude. You want to do this every single time a drawing lands in your lap. Okay, just run these buttons down here. I do this anytime my kids send me drawings, right? Oh, Michael, take a look at this. And so I will always hit delete duplicate object. I'll just run this, and it is eye-opening for sure. It will certainly clean your drawing up. That'll keep it clean. All right, so that is the procedure without the button. Okay, and there is the button with it. Okay, layer delete. I love that button. I like a lot of this stuff in here. A lot of the power things in here. Autodesk added this button, this feature on the expanded layers panel called layer delete. So you go into the layers dialog box, right? So you pick on something and then you hit delete. It goes, oh, I can't delete that. I can't delete 0, can't delete xref, can't delete the current, blah, 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 this thing. And you go, well, how am I going to delete the layer? I just want to get rid of the layer. That's what this button is designed for. Now, some of you are going, ding, 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 ding. What if I don't know what the layers are and, they drew on something strange? What if they, they're architects and they put things on weird drawings? I do have layer walk. We are going to talk about layer walk in a little bit, okay, shortly, in a moment. But I did want to show you this layer delete. So if, in fact, in your heart, you are confident that the layers that you're getting rid of are the ones you want to get rid of, watch this. Push button layer delete single pick. Look, if you're taking this into CET, $20 says it's not going to be built, but possibly. But you don't need the column line, so I'm just going to get rid of the column line. Bye-bye. Right click, and I'm going to get rid of the column bubble. Okay. And I zoom up to a workstation, and there are computers in there from 1997, and you're going to get rid of those ones. Nobody's putting the phones on there anymore. So you can start to get rid of these. Don't freak out. You've got the original. This is like third generation of save as, save as, save as. So you're down to, nubbins at this point, and you can start pitching stuff. Get her clean, y'all. Okay. Then some of you have had drawings wherein you will stay after 5 o'clock to get rid of a layer that has nothing on it. You know who you are, right? So I know, Michael, I order in sushi. And so you get these drawings, right? And you have turned everything off except that layer. And there's nothing there. So there's a button, layer delete by name. So you pick the bouton, n'est-ce pas? Then you come down here, you go, you know what, I want to get rid of this door E, the one that's aggravating you that will not go away. So you click that layer, you click OK, and it says, so y'all want me to get rid of yeah, and boom. So you can get rid of these layers that have nothing on them that you've identified at least, and move on with your layer list. Okay. So there is that layer delete. Yeah, you want to make sure that you'll do layer walk, and again, I'll show you layer walk here in a moment. Okay. When you do layer delete by your own bad self without the button, because I kind of automated that button, it will prompt you. It says, are you sure? It'll give you a warning. No, honestly, a warning will come up and everything. The default answer is no, I don't want to confirm. So make sure you do hit Y if you are going to do it by yourself. Okay. Otherwise, you can just hit that delete button. Bye-bye. Top of page 4. Last year, sir, Steve, what do you got, bud?
When you do that, you delete the layer. Let's say it's using a line type that's no longer being used. Should you go back and purge?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good catch. Good catch. Very good. Correct, because we will get drawings. Maybe they used a dash line type that is not used anywhere else in that drawing, and that line type was associated with that layer that was potentially associated with a block and such like that. So not only will the layer be deleted, the blocks will be too, but to his point, smart money would be go back up the hill and hit that purge button again just to keep her clean. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, just simply rewash that thing. Absolutely. Thanks, Steve. Last year, there were a couple of questions that I did include in the workbook for this year. One of the questions was, and is also in some of the Configura training documentation, is to get rid of your hatches, right? I mean, okay, the hatches were cool over there. If you want to keep them, good on you. But this is a button that I thought, okay, I'll make a button. You click the button, you click hatches, all the hatches are gone. So I have a drawing with the hatches. Okay, so they have this reflected ceiling plan hatch. They might have a column hatch. Where did I put my column hatch? So I have a column hatch over here, and you do not want to go hunting for all these things. It could be on multiple layers, right? All that. So I have a button, quick select for hatches. So when you click this quick select button, okay, up comes the Q select or the quick select dialog box. Don't know if you've seen this before, but this quick select dialog box has been out there for a really, really long time. It's got a lot of power. I usually do a training on this in my level 2 AutoCAD training, but all you have to do is pick a drawing, hit your button, okay, and then in here in the drop down list, object, so out of the entire drawing, okay, you see the entire drawing, the object type called hatch, and then click OK. And it lights them up. And in the top right corner is your favorite key, delete. And they're gone. All the hatches are gone. Okay, at that point you can go back, and I think, again, Steve's comment's a good idea. Go back, run through your purge thing, and so that will delete all your hatches for you. Okay, is that helpful? So far, so good? Is this whiz bang? Yeah, it is. Good point. Okay, excellent. All right, let's run down that hill for a second, right? So this is quick select that actually is a kind of a buried command. You have to know to type in Q-select or in the properties dialog box where this thing is. So this is kind of cool. I have some folks that will, you'll have drawings where when it's looking good in plan view, then you go to 3D and you have stuff like big old tall lines in 3D, and you're going, holy smokes, when this goes into CET, it either won't be visible. They've kind of fixed that, I think, in the last version or two in CET. But yes, to your point, this is where I go in. I will click up here in the top, okay. Tell you what, here's what we would do. In here, you would say, all right, so show me all the polylines, and I want to make sure that their distance is whatever. Or I can change it to block selection. I can pick block type. Maybe I find text, and I don't want to have any of the text that they put on the drawing. I will add my own, right? And so I can delete that text explicitly from this procedure, okay? So good call. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Okay, so that Q select is broad ranging for sure. Then, yes, Beth.
Just unsure, but any of these steps that you take can easily be undone.
Any of these steps that I do can be undone. Yes, absolutely. If you get down through there, yeah, there's different things you can do. But yeah, if you realize that what you just did is like, whoops, you can certainly undo it. Absolutely. It's not. You haven't put it to bed till you save that drawing and take that thing over into CET. And by the same token, if that drawing stays open, right, gang, you can always backpedal that thing. Do you know there's a command in now? Sidebar, since you brought it up, okay? U is just one undo, right? There is a command UNDO. So U is not the shortcut for the undo command. There is an undo command, okay? Hope this works. So you can put in UNDO. If you have this epiphany, go, gosh, I'm in the wrong drawing. There's a B for back option. And I'll do B for back. Enter. Ha! This will undo everything. Okay? It says, okay. All right. And you press enter. And all the thing comes back. If you then realize that you don't want to do that, don't touch anything. Just type REDO, enter, and it puts Humpty Dumpty right back up on the wall. Okay, so there is an undo command that you can use B for back to take it all the way to when you open the drawing that day. Okay, there is also in undo, this is extra shots, extra letters. You can actually put in the number of activities or actions, commands that you did, and it will undo 12 or 15 or so. I just used that the other day over in CBI in North Carolina. I put in an undo like 12, and we went back over and talked about some more stuff in the training. So to your point, Beth, absolutely. There's those two commands, just the letter U, and then the whole UNDO command, which is kind of cool.
Is there a way to select, like when you had the desk and the room numbers, say, is there a way to select one of those, say they're on the same letter, but you want to separate them?
Did you want to select all of the same item, or you had two items selected?
Well, like I want to delete, say, the desk layer.
Yes.
But the room numbers are also on.
Got it. Yes, I would probably use select similar, and there's a select similar feature in AutoCAD. Absolutely, absolutely. So that would be something you could use in there too. Yeah. So the architects will have layers A-wall-int, A-wall-int-header, A-wall- all the way to wherever south of here, Miami. So you have all these layers in these architectural drawings, and you go, can you call it shell or wall or core or something? So this merge layers feature that's in AutoCAD's layer properties manager here, I'll zoom extents on this one, and actually, yeah, sure, fine. Tell you what I'm going to do. Is this the original? Oh, that's the one with hatches. Let me go to this, back to this one. Okay, trick. Okay, so we got this. So the next button on the tool palette, to merge layers. Last year, I made a button that I really wasn't happy with, so I rewrote the button. And so the tooltip is actually the procedure that you would use. Okay, so to merge layers, select layers to merge, right-click, merge layers to. Okay, so you pick that, and this opens up the Layer Properties Manager. So this presumes, obviously, you kind of have an idea on what the layers are that you're dealing with in this architectural drawing. And I have another application for A-Fern and all the other layers thereunder. So I'm going to select the layers that I want to squeeze together, not selecting the imminent target layer of A-Fern, or sorry, EB Core. So I'm going to select that, deselect the header and the doer, which is a two-syllable word in Kentucky. Then I'm going to right-click in the list and come down, merge selected layers to. And the dialog box displays only those that were not selected, right? So it says, so these layers are the ones you can squeeze these onto. I pick EB Core, and I click OK, and it says, are you sure? And you go, yes. And it goes, and it squeezes those down to just those layers that I left. And all the other ones that I selected were squeezed onto them. Okay, so in the context of, be it project symbols, project matrix, or 2020 CAP, we know that when we put in furniture in how's my numbers? Oh, dear me. In AutoCAD, we put all of our furniture on A-Fern, right? And so then we have all those other furniture layers. And the architect calls up and says, hey, don't want all your snarky furniture layers. I don't want any of your attributes, wine. So we use this merge layers thing. We do not select A-Fern. We select everything else. Right-click, merge select layers to A-Fern. And it goes squeeze. And it puts all your furniture goes white. By golly, you do a save as and you're go baby go. But by golly, that gets, the task accomplished without not a whole lot of effort. All right, so we squeeze those down. Next, the layer walk I spoke of. Okay, so here's layer walk. Layer walk is a button up on the expanded modify panel. And if you've not used layer walk before, it's really cool. So you click on a layer and then you go arrow down, arrow down, arrow down, arrow down, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. And if you walk, you are walking through the layers of the drawing. So again, with an eye towards taking just these layers that we want to CET Designer, we grab EB Core, C Head, EF Door, those ones, and that, dear ones, is all we need to take over to CET Designer. So down at the bottom, there's a checkbox at Layer Walk. The checkbox says Restore on Exit. You don't want to have that checked. You do not want to, put it back the way it was. So I'm going to clear Restore on Exit and click Close, and there we go. Okay. So that is your Layer Walk routine at the bottom, page 4 in your workbook. All right, next. Now we've got her down to skinny jeans, and we're going to take that and Wblock it out. And we're going to make a DWG that we're going to take into CET Designer, and here's your button. So there's a Wblock button, okay? And in Wblock, okay, so now, you have your original architectural .dwg. You have a save as of some other .dwg. You're going to make this DWG that you're taking into CET, in a very real likelihood, you're going to turn around and export that one to make yet another DWG. Okay, so my thought is this. Okay, look, folks, it's tough to just keep track of normal drawings. So my thought is, what if, and I put this as a note on the button, okay, what if we add CAD for CET as the prefix in front of a drawing that will be created to take into CET. So you and your teammates, when you see your list of files that are in your folder for your project, you see a file called CAD for CET. Do the math, dude. That's probably from AutoCAD going to CET, right? So that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to click our button here, okay, the Browse button. And I'll go into here, and let's say we're going to do CAD for CET, and I'll do 1, okay? So this is my first class, okay? And save it. That's my drawing. Then select objects, high and outside, ball 4, wrap your arms around it, enter. I'm going to leave the pick point at 0, 0 in the Wblock command and click okie doke. All right, and we have now created a drawing that's much lighter than the drawing we started with. Are you with me so far? KKK? All right, sweet, good on you. Next. Blurbity, blurbity, blur, blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, if you do have AutoCAD 2017 or later, if you import a PDF, it turns into Polylines. We know this, right? Yes. Okay, all right. So if you have AutoCAD 2017, I don't think I have the time right now to go through it, but on the import tab, on the insert tab of 2017, 18, 19, or 20, okay, big red button right smack dab in the middle, PDF import. Do not do the insert PDF. That's an underlay, y'all. Okay, that's not the one that's going to turn into Polylines, okay? You're going to want the insert button, PDF import. Pick that, grab a PDF, poof. If the PDF had been was created electronically, right, not scanned, not taken down to City Blue and scan it, that kind of PDF. If it was electronically created, turns into Polylines. Turns into Polylines. Now you will have to scale it to make it 1-to-1, but by golly, you don't have to trace it. Okay. Okay. There was the note about there. What about XREFs? Right. This was the other question I had in training last year. So we have a drawing wherein there's an XREF. Okay. So the architect has sent us a drawing with XREFs in it, so I added a button, push button bind all XREFs, okay? You don't want to detach, well, if you want to detach them, good on you, okay? Go ahead and do that. But we know that if we bind an XREF, it's no longer external, bless you, it is internal, right? So now it is a block in the drawing. So there's a button, push button bind all XREFs, hit it, and poof. That drawing is now a block in the drawing, okay? The XREF is no longer external. Just a little insight, these buttons on the tool palette, you can always right-click and go into Properties, okay? So in here, what I did on that button, I know not more than the front row can see this, but I simply added a little routine that says, all right, use the command line version of XREF, B for bind. How many? All of them. You go, okay, that's it. So that's all these buttons amount to. So you can unpack them. There's no mystery to these things. You can always unpack them and do what you want to in them. Okay. But I did want to let you know that in response to the question from last year, I added a button to it. KKK. All right. So when I do my CET training, M for move, R for rotate, C for copy. Get her done. Okay, love all the little 2D toolbars in CET, but I'm going to just kind of duck in there, show you a couple things, leave this with you, because when I did a virtual training recently, they go, oh, dear, where's that list? I want to do that to mine. So in CET, if you go down to keyboard shortcuts, formerly known as key bindings, right? Thankfully, they changed that. So you go into here, and what I did is I found, for example, I went into Tools, and under Tools, or is it Edit? Where was my keyboard, drawing tools. Anyhow, well, shoot, I was looking for keyboard, LMNOHIJK. Where's the keyboard shortcut? Anyhow, what I did is import, right? So under import, export, I'm not going to go out to the Tools tab and click the button here, or export file, export drawing. No, I want to hit I for stinking import and X for going out. Okay, that's what I did in these keyboard shortcuts. So y'all follow that little roadmap when you get out to your CET, and it's going to operate a whole lot more like AutoCAD if you want to do it that way. Next, the round trip of a drawing. Okay, cool. So after preparing and saving your AutoCAD drawing, you're now ready to import it into CET Designer. This would be the one where you use Wblock to save the DWG with the prefix of CAD for CET. Oopsie. I reversed that. Note to self. Make your note. CAD for CET. Major memo, curiously, of the 37 years I've been teaching CAD systems, CET is the only one that does not have X, Y, Z axis. I thought, oh, 0, 0 from AutoCAD is going to match up with 0, 0 in CET. And then Brian Schlager down at Workplace Resource in San Antonio goes, Michael, it doesn't have an X, Y. What? No, it doesn't have an X, Y, Z. Which is why, when you start a new drawing, okay, when you do a new drawing, Control N, okay, you want to hit that 0 button, which is on the Tools tab, which is not where you are at the moment you might launch CET. So I have it set up for 0. So one of my shortcut keys that I just showed you on there is to save you the time, 0. And the other thing is, when you place that 0 point, there's another one stuck on your finger after you do the first one. You got to do that whole flippy left thing, okay? No, just nail it down. That's it. So 1, 0, bye-bye, go home. Okay, so that's my little shortcut on that one. So then, okay, so you can do the CAD 0 point if you want to. Then I have I for import, or again, tools, and then the solar panel over here. But if what you is you're on wall drawing, you just hit I, okay, boom, it goes right to import. And so we'll go get CAD for CET1, okay, and double that. Come here, child. Okay, and so up in the top right corner, top right, okay, in the upper left corner of that, okay, is the name of the file. Down here at the bottom, and I have this in the book, okay, down here in the bottom, under Advanced, okay, I do want to show in 2D view, show in 3D view, embed CAD file and drawing. Embed CAD file and drawing, I don't think is the default. The good news, team, is that when you check it one time, that will stick on that computer, so you'll be good to go from that point forward. Okay, display non-renderable entities, which sounds kind of squirrely, but it just simply means that, you know, show the lines in 3D. That's it. Set those one time. Then click OK. Okay. And then zoom extents, which I have set to Z because you can't double click your wheel. Okay, so there it is. And it's kind of in 3D. You can see a little bit in 3D there. Okay, so now it's in. Okay. Next, is it XREFed? Yeah, it's linked. Wait, what? So after changing the CET for, I reversed those both places. I'm really sorry. I wasn't paying attention. So I'm going to come back here into AutoCAD. Okay, going to go back to open. Mervin's. One of you got that. CAD for CET1, that one right there. So this is the one, come here, child. This is the one, true, that we put into CET, which means I can come into here and I can erase this private office. Do a little field measure. You realize that private office isn't there. Then I click Save. I go back to CET Designer. If I double click on the drawing, this dialog box that I got when I imported shows up. So you can, there's other ways of getting there, but if you simply just double click on the drawing. So here's the drawing that I just mortified, right? So if I go up here and click the reload button right here at the top, it takes out the plan. So it's XREFed in the CET drawing. Can I get a woohoo? We had enough coffee, whatever. So this is one of those things, the unpacking, you got the hood kind of up. We got the hood all the way up, peering into how this engine works. And it's like, that's pretty sweet. That's a pretty sweet little routine, okay? So after adding furniture in CET, so what I did, here, let's see if I'll come on down here and insert a favorite. What do you got? Sure. So what I did, now when I was doing the virtual training for Herman Miller, flip, go, child, the other day, 2 years ago, okay, I tried something before I went into class, and I thought, gosh, we can do this in AutoCAD. I wonder if we can do this in CET. And now that I've got it set up like this, some of you are going, he's not going to do what I think he's going to do, is he? Oh, yeah. So sometimes you get this sometimes, right? You got this teeny tiny little stuff, and you got to get this, and you select it, and you got all the little orange grabby points, right? It's like, I can't grab that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom up to where I want it to go, to be. Then I'm going to, in 3D, I'm going to come down here and grab my little boxy window tool. Come here, child. And window it up and flip it. Then I can click on it and drag it across the county line. Come on, do not fail me. I saw that coming. I thought, whoa, look at the kitty. Okay. Look over that, okay. I know, I love my cat. So I drag it across. Oh, shoot. No, wait, there it is. It's coming. It's coming. Shucks. I had this. Oh, is that the trick, brother? So if I go over here and I do this and I flip it and then I flick, there you go. Yeah, it's that toolbar. I was just giddy when I saw that the first time. I got to show my kids this. So anyhow, that's what you can do. And the people I haven't trained before, is he like this all the time? And the people in the front row are going, oh yeah, that's Michael. So, okay. So that's what you can do. CET furniture in AutoCAD. So I did bring it over here. So I did have another drawing over here with our floor plan in here. Where's my furniture? Okay. So we know in CET speak, the developers tend to put stuff on the true color layer. And those of you that know that, and you get over here and you have your true colors kind of scattered throughout, I just want to let you know a little tip. If when you get into the layer properties manager of a drawing that has CET furniture in it and there's color stuff, if you click on the color header, all of the true color colors will go to the bottom. Okay, so if you ever want to see where they are, if there is one, you click the color header and it will always go down to the bottom. Okay, the thing is, I don't want to go to every single one of them and change it to, you know, a real color, an index color, something like that. So I gave you a bigger hammer. So with the idea that when you go to plot a drawing with true color in monochrome, it won't, right? It only plots in the color. So I made a button, layers to white. So you click that button, boom, have a nice day. So now you can plot the thing, monochrome, go baby go, plot the drawing, thank you so much. And then there's a layer previous button to put Humpty Dumpty back on the wall, okay? So the idea is when you do, and I even have a little note, where's my little pointy thing, okay? Okay, layers to white, plot the drawing, then click layer previous below. Because I was doing a training in Baltimore earlier this year, I didn't have that note. So the gal clicked plot to white on Friday, went home. Came back the next, Monday, opened it up, tried layer previous. No bueno, dude. You have to hit that layer previous before you leave the drawing. So just a note to self, make sure you do that. Okay. Meanwhile, the CET furniture in here, our CET blocks in AutoCAD just don't have any data. The 2D and 3D blocks are on the same layer. They're on the CET default layer. So if you need 2D and 3D, I would highly recommend you make a 2D export and a 3D export. If you want them there, that's fine, but it just makes it real tough to get them apart from each other. Okay. Another cool thing here is the brackets. In some of our brackets here, let's do the white thing here. The LT scale factor on some of our product lines, manufacturers, okay, where many of us represented here, there's an LT scale variable, okay, and if you set LTS to 0.1, you will start to see now the brackets. So if you do have undermounted things, brackets, task lights, pencil trays, things like that, what I have found is that if you set the AutoCAD LT scale factor to 0.1, you will start to see the outlines, at least in the dotted line type that's been used for that. Things that I have also on there, there's a visual style called Shades of Gray that you can do. There's a lot of stuff that you can play with on that one. Okay, cool. Checking my time. That stuff. Gold star tip. When imported, some CET layers have the true color, and there is your note regarding the bigger hammer. Okay. 2020 cap furniture in CET Designer. Okay, so if you do have a drawing, and what I did is I went out there and added a simple null caliber to this. What did I wind up doing? Here, let's do I for import. Come here, child. And come here, hon. And get my caliber here. And just set it in there. When this comes in, come here, zoom extends, there you go. On the project symbols tab, which you can't not have project symbols. You really need to have that one. There's lots and lots of tools, obviously, on there. But one of the buttons on there is Convert Drawing. So the cool thing about our project symbols extension, the project symbols extension, is this Convert Drawing. And so when you convert drawing, when you click that, it will acknowledge the fact, and this is a good thing, drawing has CAP, FSL, or project symbols, and I was talking to Rob, I think there's also a CAD pack inclusion in that too, that can be converted into project symbols for CET Designer objects. So that's okay, muy bueno. So you click OK, and it turns that thing into 3D, and it pops it up there. The one note that I do have here in the book then, okay, Insights, import a DWG with standard Joe Bob 2D or 3D furniture from 2020 CAP in this circumstance. And when the drawing is converted, parts are 3D and in the calculation based on the part. And if you did have options that you added to it in the drawing, those will come over as well. The 2D and 3D parts are retained after that conversion, so you might want to just scooch them over just a smidgy bit. And then you can delete the 2D, and you have the 2D and the 3D, and the critter is in the calculation. It's all hunky-dory swell. Yes, ma'am?
So if I were to bring symbols in that have an extension, am I going to get the intelligence of the extension, or I'm getting the project symbols version of those?
The latter. If she was saying, all right, let's say that you had something from an extension, okay, one of the Knoll products, let's say in this case, Caliber might have been brought in. Does the convert to drawing recognize the fact, oh, look, here's the extension equivalent, I will get the smart part and bring it in? That's a no. Okay, so what it does is it finds that part number that came over from CAP, says, okay, I got one in my little collection here of project symbols, and I'll put that in there. Okay, that's a good question. I know there are things that Project Matrix, the company, is working on, so that would certainly be worthy of a question from there too. Yeah, okay. Lastly here, yeah, Beth.
But when you bring in, say you have the drawing furniture in AutoCAD.
Yes.
You bring that in CET.
Yes.
Does that work the same way?
Yes, so if you have drawings that you have CAP furniture in, right? Now, I wouldn't take 187 stations, but you might bring it in a typical at a time and bring that in, right? Set her down, do the convert drawing. Good, save that as a favorite. Bring the next one in, convert it, save as a favorite. Certainly, absolutely, that'd be a great way to go. Custom 3D CAP parts, if you made it like a, make part, like many of you know how to do your make part, that will also come in to CET Designer. Okay, good, last thing. So I was telling you, if you got these Mac Daddy drawings, okay, with these architectural wonders, right? Floor plan sample, did I do that? Yeah, sure. Okay, so sometimes you have these floor plans, okay, where I'm doing shift wheel pan. For those of you in AutoCAD know you can do that to change your 3D view. So let's say there is no way I want to draw this in CET Designer. So near the bottom of the tool palette, okay, the bottom of the tool palette here, I have, I have several things. I have layer freeze entity, I have make layer A-fern current. So those of you that are using Shootfire, any of them, right now I have EF door current. I hit that button there, A-fern is current. Even if the layer is not in the drawing, you're welcome. Okay, so you have that one. There was another one I did, elevation scramble. You ever do this? You get this drawing, and then you'll go 3D, and you go, smokes, what's all this stuff doing up here, right? The architects don't need training, right? You know that, right? The architects don't need training, okay? So they do this. I had another button. I've got elevation 0. And it takes those things that are floating, and sometimes, for some drawings, depending upon how they got all 3D, it goes, and it all goes down to the XY plane, okay? So I wanted to mention that button. Meanwhile, so back here, what I was doing is, was that the one? Yeah. Okay, so I got to 3D. So now, if you, most if not all of you know, that if there's a 3D part, what's the 3D command that makes it taller? Okay, you can use what? Extrude. But if you use extrude, you need a what? Sorry. You need a what? What do you need to have to extrude? A polyline. You need a polyline. Well, gosh, gang, that ain't a polyline, and I ain't about to make it one. So in AutoCAD 2010, they introduced press pull. So I have press pull on here. So when you click on press pull, you visit inside a cavity and you click there and you move it up and you say 10 feet. And then I click into here and I move it up and I say 10 feet. Okay, so what I have in here, here's in the book, okay, you can use AutoCAD's press pull command to create a solid from your 2D wall lines. It just needs to be closed, just needs to be a closed area, all right? The button on the tool palette sets the pick box size to itty bitty, because by the time you take it looking like this and then you tilt it like that, there's not a whole lot to aim for, right, to pick in that slot. So that's why you see, yeah, I know, sweet, my timer just said Michael. And so I made a T90 little pick box, but I gave you a button to put the critter back to 5 so it's a little bigger, okay? So I didn't leave you languishing there. Now, what do? Back here in CET, okay, it is recommended, I love how it tells you got a whole bunch of stuff open, you stupid. So you better close this. I'm really sorry. Control dub. No, don't save that one. Control dub. You know Control W is close, right? Yes, Michael, we know that. Okay, so I'm going to Control Tab back over to these ones. Control Dub that one. Okay, don't say that. So what is recommended, okay, is that I would recommend you copy paste the 3D walls into a new AutoCAD drawing and then save that as 3D walls, whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Import and get my CAD for CET 3D walls and do okie doke. And there it is, y'all. Okay, so those are the 3D walls that came in from, that I made in AutoCAD. You can go into Material Exploder and you can go get a color and you can put stone on the thing if you want to. So it's all makeable, okay? Then as far as the header that's in there, we go back to wall drawing and up in wall settings. Let's see, okay, so I kept that from last time. Okay, so I made it 24 inches because it's like maybe 10 feet and it's an 8-foot or 2-foot header up for an 8-foot opening. So now I can go to just normal Joe Bob straight walls. Okay, come here, child. And get straight walls and go from yay to yay and flip it. Oopsie, I missed it. You've never done that before. So I go from here over to that. Okay, then I go up to elevation, right, and say be 8 feet. 8 feet, and you got your header in there, and you go back to your 3D material and whatever I might have grabbed to do that. Come here, sweetheart. Okay, and just put material in there, and no harm, no foul. So at that point, okay, you go out there and you insert your favorite, and you get whatever, okay, canvas wall based in there, and just place it in there, and then all the cool things that you've learned in other sessions this week, you can apply to your 3D. Okay, come here, sweetie. Does that make sense? Ain't that neat? Okay, cool beans. So, presto. Questions? I've got like 2 minutes. All right, any questions? Yes, I see that hand.
So if you do walls like this,
Yes.
that means that you can't then freeze them, right?
Yeah, if I do walls like this, I can freeze them. Yes, you can click it and right-click freeze. Now, what you might be thinking is, we know that if you draw walls off the Walls tab and go to any other tab, it's an auto-freeze, right? You can always right-click and say, no, you freeze. So you can click and freeze those.
But it freezes the whole thing, not just one piece of that wall. The way that you can freeze just one piece of the wall.
Well, it freezes that one.
Yeah. I just,
Yeah. Was that what you were thinking? Yeah, okay, cool. Yes, Lori?
So where do we get that special tool?
My tool palette. The tool palette? Okay, my understanding was I sent this to Kelsey DeBruin. Kelsey said, Michael, send me your presentation, send me what you want to pass out. And after the session, after the seminar, my understanding is that Kelsey is going to either A, make it available from a briefcase, or B, send a note to attendees that here's where you can find it. So it will be, and I will absolutely make sure she lets my kids know, because all y'all I know are going, and so that's going to be available. Or it'll be after the after the conference. Yes. Oh, and then, okay, good. Then the next page, how to load the cleanup AutoCAD tool palette. Okay, so on the View tab, so in AutoCAD, okay, on the View tab, right there is Tool Palettes. So you'll click on your Tool Palettes button up here at the top, okay, Tool Palette will pop up. Then, okay, right-click, own, as they say in Birmingham, own the title bar of the Tool Palette, okay. So I right-click on there, and I come down to Customize Palettes. Then, okay, on the left side of the Customize dialog box under Palettes, right-click anywhere. So right-click here and go Import. Then navigate to where you saved that palette. Okay, so let's say you saved it to wherever, and it will be a .xtp file. So you get the email, you get the, however Kelsey is going to distribute this tool palette, okay? You save it somewhere on your computer, okay? Then follow these steps and import it, go, come here, and boom, that tool palette will be right there locked and loaded in your hip pocket, go baby go. Once it's there, it's always there, correct, absolutely. Okay, does that help? Good.